Islam, peace world, YouTube land, Facebook land, or anywhere I'm at, you heard me? This the Sultan Shaheed Akbar La'el, also known as the fifth corner pimp, you heard me? And pimp don't mean putting prostitutes on full corner. Pimping to me means putting ignorant minds proper, you heard me? I'm sitting here today, you know what I'm saying, about to shoot this YouTube, you know. I'm about to clear up a little few things about the Moorish Zodiac Constitution, you dig, and the lessons, you know what I'm saying. You know, these lessons that I did, that I wrote, I used to teach like about a year ago in El Morocco Park, El Morocco Dandy Park. I'm out here in Copeland Park right here at Tampa, Florida, you know what I'm saying, where it first all started. I used to teach free law classes, you know what I'm saying. But they wasn't respecting the game, so, you know, I had to step it up, you know, do it a whole nother way on them, you know what I'm saying. But, you know, I'm going to read Article 1 of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution that was written by Seen Bey with explanation, a breakdown of it to bring it forward, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of Moors, when they go to court, you know what I'm saying, they take and just throw the Zodiac Constitution out there, but they ain't never did the research on it to back it up with documentary facts. And that's what the Sultan, you know what I'm saying, your Sultan is getting ready to do for you right now, you know. So I'm going to read off the paper right here, you know what I'm saying, on it. It says, Moorish Science 101, you know what I'm saying, the Moorish National Zodiac Constitution by Seen Bey. The federal certificate number is AA 22147, Library of Congress, Washington, D.C. It's revised by Noble Shaheed La'el. You know, Noble is another name, but I go by Sultan right now, you know. So Article 1, so the 12 signs of the Zodiac, the code of mathematics skilling from 0 to 9, and the signs of geometry compromise the constitution of the living Moorish nation of North America, referred to as Negroes, who ruled the world in the 7 seas by the 12 signs of the Zodiac and the signs of geometry for 1196 years, to the Amazon Dutch German Catholic priesthood, fathers of the Revolution of 1789, and the Sisterhood Magna Carta Emancipation Proclamation, Union Society of White Supremacy in 1863, North America, end quote. It said, quote, it said 12 jurymen of the 50 Union States Society, also the 9 judges of Supreme Court, were founded by the Moorish nation's 12 signs of the Zodiac Constitution and mathematics, skilling from 0 to 9. Thus, without the Moorish Constitution, the Magna Carta Emancipation Proclamation, Union Society of the myth of white supremacy definitely couldn't have been founded in 1863, all right? It says the breakdown of Article 1 by Noble Shaheed La'el. Article 1, quote, is defined as a separate and distinctive part of an instrument or writing comprising 2 or more particles, one of several things presented and as connected or forming a whole. When we look at the first part of Article 1 of the Moorish Constitution, we will see that it's giving us the code of the makeup of the Moorish nation, you know what I'm saying. Every nation got to have a constitution, you know what I'm saying. Without your constitution, the constitution is a body. The word constitute means body, you know what I'm saying, or corpus, you know what I'm saying. You use the medical terminology on it, okay. It says 1, the 12 signs of the Zodiac. The Zodiac is the blueprint of our character. The Zodiac has 360 degrees in a circle. Each sign has 30 degrees, all right, you know what I'm saying. It said, and I used the book, it said Golden Age of the Moors by Ivan Van Sertima, page 217. The code said the Moors introduced astrology, the Zodiac, to Europe. All right, quote, 110th century Christian count critically recalls how the Moors were guided by the stars and not by God. Yet astrology was one of the areas in which European academics and church principles was most interested in. As stated in medieval Latin text reveals, the count also spoke how the Moors knew many spells and charms which could stir up clouds in the winds, all right, end quote. You know, Moors, Aboriginal dignity people, we know how to make it rain, you heard me? Real rain. Not that bullshit they do in the strip club throwing money in the fucking air. We made it real rain, real, you heard me? But anyway, it say History of the Moorish Empire in Europe, Volume 1 by S.P. Scott. It said, quote, the Moors of the Arabs in Arabia lived by the Zodiac before Muhammad. Quote, Nur Allah, the light of God, end quote. His authority was everywhere paramount, whether openly worship represented by the fire, the great purifying agent, or exhibit on the various symbols of force and power, which all nations, however separated and differ in physical and mental characteristics, had with wonderful unadmittedly adopted as his peculiar emblems. Temples was also raised to the moon. Cyrus emblems. Temples also raised to the moon. Cyrus, Cannabis, and Hades, Mercury, and Jupiter. But all the starry bodies, none enjoyed greater favor of worship with more splendor than Saturn. End quote. You know what I'm saying? That's out the Moorish Empire of Europe. You know what I'm saying? It's breaking down how the Moors before Muhammad, before the Mohammedans, before the religion of Islam, you know what I'm saying, was dealing with astrology, numerology, you know what I'm saying, the constellation, you know what I'm saying. Moors ruled by that. We didn't rule by no religion, you know what I'm saying. You got all these religious people out here today, which is really religious idiots, you heard me. I'm going to go on, I'm going to say the Moors, the history of the Moorish Empire in Europe, volume 1 by S.B. Scott, page 36-37. It say, quote, the early Arabians practiced magic and divinity, had research to oracles, maintained wizards and sorcery, charlatans, which essentially was largely due to the narcotics that made use of to open and pretend communication with the spirit world. Armors was universally worn as a protection against the blameful consequences of the evil eye, hand in hand with the prestige of magical art. Austrians and incantations came to the incepting doctrine of the influence of the planets upon material substance, as well as a belief in their power to affect the destiny and welfare of man. Theories which unfortunately developed into the vain pursuits of alchemy and judicial astrology indicate an acquaintance with the principle of science only acquired by much study and repeated experiments, end quote. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's coming out the Moors, you know, the history of the Moors, showing how the early Arabians, you know what I'm saying, the original Arabs is really more dark-skinned, you know, because Arabia was a colony of Cushite, but that's another thing, you know what I'm saying. They say, too, the code of mathematics skilling from 0 to 9, also known as numerology. Moorish numbers not only circumscribe and determine speed and time in abstract formulas, but they were also part of a system of relationship with the stars, all right? Symbols, Sex, and the Stars by Anders Bernax, page 240. They say Pythagoras, the Greek so-called father of math, went to Egypt, Kemet, where he was initiated into the mystery of Isis, and is said to have been taught the secret meaning of numbers by an Egyptian priest named Horus Ahmed, end quote. You know what I'm saying? It says Stars and Symbols, Symbol, Sex, and the Stars by Ernest Boback, page 240, say, quote, say the science of numbers was believed by the people of many ancient nations to be a potent magic and was revered as an invention of the gods, end quote. See, the gods deal with numbers, you know, everything in the world is mathematics. You add up. If you're in a relationship, you gotta add shit up, you know what I'm saying? What you bring to the table, what I bring to the table, how we gonna put this together, how we gonna do what we're gonna do, how we gonna build, how we gonna destroy, you know what I'm saying? It's all numbers, you heard me? Everything, you know what I'm saying? They ain't got nothing. Even love is numbers, you heard me? Signs and symbols of the Stars by Ernest Boback, page 155. Many ancient symbols were derived from the geometric forms, amongst which the square, the circle, and the triangle, and the secondary forms, cube, spear, and pyramid, or cone, were particularly relevant as containing the key to the secrets of the construction of the universe. These forms served as the basis for many of the most sacred symbols of religious and secret orders, end quote. You know what I'm saying? You know, and from the Clock of Destiny, you know what I'm saying, volume 1 by Sean Bay, it says, quote, geometric is a universal law of perfection, the science of the culture moves, which has and always will be in the hands of the canker-hair moves of North America, end quote. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we moves, we deal with numbers, we deal with measurements, we don't deal with religion, you know what I'm saying? Even though I got my turban on, I don't put my head on no ground and toot my ass in the air. I don't go to no pure European way of life or religion, you know what I'm saying? But my way of life is Islam, which I self-law and master, you know what I'm saying? Or I sincerely love Allah's mathematics, you know what I'm saying? That's what it is, you know. It says the first 3 points, the Zodiac, astrology, mathematics, numerology, and geometric are the foundation of Article 1 of the Moorish nation Zodiac Constitution, in which we ruled the world in the 7 seas for 1196 years until the Amazon Dutch German Catholic priesthood fathers of the Revolution of 1789. 1789 is a historical year for the Union Society of the United States. Not only did George Washington become the first president, but on 23rd January 1789, the first and oldest Catholic and Jesuit college was founded in the United States, Georgetown University, founded by John Carroll, a Roman Catholic bishop who was born in Ireland. All right. Okay. Then I go on and I say the sisterhood of the 1789 Revolution, better known as the Daughters of the American Revolution. Membership is limited to direct lineage descendants of soldiers or others of the revolutionary period who aided the cause of independence. The first members of this group advocated segregation. All right. Now I'm saying the DAW, if you do research on the DAW is responsible for who becomes a citizen of the United States or not. A movie that you could check out was called The Help. You know what I'm saying? They put it out. Well, you know, they was breaking it down in Mississippi, you know what I'm saying, where the Bar Association was really started at. But that's, you know, something else in the topic, you know what I'm saying. I'm going to go on to quote, CNB, Clock of Destiny by CNB, Volume 1, page 14. It say, quote, in the year of 1856, the white woman, often referred to as the Daughters of Revolution, endorsed the artistic painting of themselves and sons called Christ and Mary, and established a new doctrine of the only begotten Son of God and his mother, Mary, by force, intrigue, ignorance, cruelty, seduction, bloodshed, and destruction, end quote. You know what I'm saying? See, it was the DAW that created that image of that white, so-called white, Jesus, so-called white Mary, you know what I'm saying? Of they show, 1884, you know what I'm saying? It says, Clock of Destiny by CNB, Volume 1, page 9. It says, quote, the Magna Carta, the celebrated Magna Carta, is a document which granted economic, social, and commercial freedom and equality to all people of ruddy, pale skin, with long hair, flax, in regards to race, labor, and religionism and politicalism, faith, end quote. All right? Now, the Magna Carta is what these people are guided by. They're not guided by the Constitution of the United States, you know what I'm saying? You know, you get brothers saying, well, man, you ain't got no constitutional rights and this, and that. But that's wrong, you know what I'm saying? The Constitution was written off our stuff, you know what I'm saying? And that's another thing that I'm going to get into when I talk about Article 2 and the other articles, you know what I'm saying? But let me finish with the Magna Carta. You got to realize these people come out of England, you know what I'm saying? The Magna Carta, which means Great Charter, was granted to them, all right? For their economic, religious freedom, you know? That's why we not MC, you know what I'm saying? That we MC in. Don't mean move the crowd, mean Magna Carta. Charter, all right? Magna Charta is Latin for Great Charter, was the first document forced onto the King of England by a group of his subjects, the Fruitan barons, in an attempt to limit his powers by law and protect their rights. June 12, 1215, all right? Emancipation Proclamation of the Union Society of White Supremacy, 1863, North America by Abraham Lincoln, saved the Union of Rome. It did not free the Moors. And if you study works of Lincoln's told you, he said, Africans is a slave, always going to be a slave, but I'll free you. You know what I'm saying? But I always will see you as a slave. You know what I'm saying? African is not a slave, which is the Moor is not a slave. We got a cultural history that's way more advanced than this bullshit today. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm going to continue. He said, the previous facts shown prove the last part of our Moorish Zodiac Constitution, Article 1. The 12 jury members of the 50 Union State Society, also the 9 judges of the Supreme Court, was founded upon the Moorish nation 12 signs of the Zodiac Constitution and mathematics skilling from 0 to 9. Thus, without our Moorish Constitution, the Magna Carta, Emancipation Proclamation, Union Society of White Supremacy definitely could not have been founded in 1863, end quote. The number 12 represents the closed circle, and the number 9 represents the magnified 3. All right? And that wraps up Article 1 of the Moorish Zodiac Constitution. That was written by CNB, that was revised by me, Noble, Salt, Shahid, Allah El. And this is Article 1 of lessons. Anybody that wishes to obtain this lesson, you can contact me, you know what I'm saying, and make your donation or whatever it is, you know, that you have to obtain these lessons, you know what I'm saying. Obtain this lesson. This is Article 1, you know what I'm saying. You know, every nation got to have a constitution. They got to have a body of laws that they govern by, and the makeup of it. You know what I'm saying? You know, and this is just Sultan. You know what I'm saying? You know, so listen up. You know what I'm saying? Peace, Islam to everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know, study well, live well. You hear me? Peace.